Welcome to Bussing, Mommy, and LollieTasking. I am your host, Dr. Lola, a wife, mom of three, physician, entrepreneur, and also a productivity and work-life strategist. I invite you to join me and other amazing women as we chat about our passion, work, businesses, other topics, and how we seem to have it all together, balancing motherhood and work. I hope by the end of this conversation, you realize you can do it too. With some planning, a little bit of balance, and a dash of determination. This is LollieTasking. Hello, LollieTaskers. Welcome to another amazing episode of LollieTasking. Again, I am your host, Dr. Lola, and on the first Thursday of every week, I do something called LollieChats. So LollieChat is the time where I get to know you guys. I get to talk a little bit about myself and what I do, what I have to offer, and things like that. So today, LollieChats again are like ramblings. I don't even edit it. I just kind of like think of the points I want to talk about and I just speak into the microphone. So I was listening to a friend a couple of days ago, and in her podcast, she literally said, I choose joy. And it was almost like a blink. Okay, let me tell you a little bit more. So the last couple of years have been very, very, very hard for me. In me starting my business, that's been actually one of the positives of my life. The other parts of my life has not been so great. Or I should say the other parts I had chose to focus on had not been so great. Okay. So, I've had deaths in the family. I've lost people. I've lost, somebody I considered a very good friend. As I realized that not only were they not my friend anymore, I realized that they actually genuinely hated me just based on the actions that they were taking. So this was not a healthy friendship, and it's still in process. Okay. So, one thing I realized that, we're social beings that we require, we love validation from people we care about. And when we don't get that validation, we start to, maybe act out or, just wonder like what's going on. In death, you realize that life is very fragile and you need to live each day like it's the last day. So in doing that, like I told you, I had a lot of death in the family, about 3 total. But in doing that, I've had a lot of self-reflection to figure out, okay, let me take an audit of my life. So I did an audit of my life. It's not like I read something, I was just literally thinking, right? I think through things that were going right with me, and but to be honest, I almost did an audit of all the bad things that happened to me ever since I was a child, even with like my parents' divorce, how it affected me. So just kind of like reflecting, I guess it's what I was doing. In doing that, I realized that I'm a quite resilient person, and it's woven into my DNA. It's woven into a lot of Black women's DNA, right? We're very resilient. I also realized that there's some people in my life that have taken advantage of that positive aspect of my life, right? The ability to just get things done, the ability to just default into the superwoman trope, which I will talk another episode about that. This is literally a short episode. I don't think I'm going to be more than 10 minutes, right? And they just, they're like, oh, Lola Day's going to do it. She's going to do it. So I'm not going to stress myself. And guess what? I enabled the situation because I did do it. It's almost a curse of competency because you're so competent in life and you try to be good in everything, in all facets of your life, because of that, people take advantage of it, and it's quite sad that people don't appreciate that and people don't celebrate that, and people don't see the gem that you are. Like, I'm not talking about myself now, I'm talking about other people out there, because I know I'm not the only one who goes through this. Anyway, in my realization and realizing that, damn, you've been a sucker. You've been a sucker in this friendship. I actually was quite depressed. Almost like, how could you let someone take advantage of you? Like, what is wrong with you, child? You know, I became depressed. I was the definition of suffering and smiling. Like a lot of people of Nigerian descent would tell you, oh yeah, a lot of Nigerians, they do a lot of suffering and smiling. We kind of suppress our emotions. We don't want people to know what's going on. And you know what? I can honestly see how people spiral down. Thank God for my immediate family, right? Who were the constants in my life. I think my biggest revelation is that no matter what, there's some people in your life that you assume they love you based on the position you've placed them in your life, right? You assume this person is my ride or die chick, this person is my ride or die friend, this person is my ride or die husband, this person is my ride or die family, sister. Insert whatever you want to insert in there. And you realize that it's not mutual. You're riding or dying for them, but they're just riding on you and taking advantage of you and using you and not caring about you and not caring that this ability of you even going above and beyond is in sacrificing of yourself. So, to be honest, it hurts. When you find out that you have been a sucker, like I said, you realize that you are the one allowing people to use you, right? It's a choice you've made because you did not give yourself the same grace and love that you give other people. So, of course, people take advantage of this. You know, when people are like, oh, Lola got it, Lola would do it. And then when they mess up, they say, oh, my bad. You know, you're my friend. You know, you're my girl. You know, you're my wife. You know, you're my this. You know, they gaslight you into thinking, oh, it's not a big deal, right? They just say, I'm sorry, but then they don't change, right? And I read a quote the other day, says, you know, apologies without change is manipulation. So they become manipulative in your life. I think that revelation made me wallow, actually. I continued doing my work and definitely, I would say I went through the diagnostic criteria of depression. And I don't say this lightly, right? I was having a lot of sleep disturbance. I didn't feel like doing anything fun. I continued to have feeling of guilt of allowing myself to be used. My energy was decreased. My concentration was even more horrible as someone who has ADHD. It is horrible for us to be depressed, right? Because it takes things to another level. Like I wasn't able to concentrate at home, at work. It was really bad. I gained about 30 pounds in the last 6 months, you know, so that's a lot. You know, like, I wouldn't say I had suicidal ideation, but I would say things like, I could see how people commit suicide. I could see how people commit suicide, but I myself never felt the need to do that, okay? So what I want to leave you guys today is, you know, please, this is a PSA. Please remember to check in on your strong friends. Remember to check in on your busy friends. Remember to check in on your happy friends who always seem like they got it all together, right? They seem like they can handle it. They seem like they're the friend that doesn't need anything, you know? At the end of the day, they're the ones that need you the most. They're typically the ones that are suffering in silence. I don't know why I'm getting emotional. But there's a happy ending to the story. You know, and hear my friends say, she's gone through a lot more than I have. And she said, I chose joy. It was almost a light bulb. It was almost a switch. It was like, why am I wallowing at the one or two negatives of my story? Why don't I choose joy? I need to choose joy. It was almost like, duh. You need to choose joy. I started listing all of the things that God has done for me. I had a sheet of paper and I had one side, the positive, the great things God has done for me. And on the other side of the sheet, I had the horrible things that happened to me. Do you believe after listing all the great things God has done for me, I kept flipping sheets and I still had not gone through half of the page of the horrible things I felt like had happened in my life, right? It was a perspective shift. I almost felt greedy and selfish. Like you're literally wallowing in these two things. And God has done all these fantastic things for you. On that day, I need to choose joy. Or I chose to choose joy. I chose to choose joy. It's so funny. I listened to this Bible recap. I just started this in January. And earlier when this happened was the first day I heard her say, here's where the joy is. Like at the end, she would say, and here's where the joy is. And it's almost like God was talking to me. And I was like, wait, has she always been saying this? And I went back and looked at it. And yes, every episode she said it, but I never connected. It showed how low I was, So how do I make joy a habit? So I just want to give you this key pointers, and then I'm going to wrap this up. Like this is one of the shortest episodes you're ever going to get in LollieTasking, but like I said, this is just I felt like I had to do this PSA for all my super women out there, for all my people who felt let down, for all my people going through stuff right now. You can choose joy, okay? So choosing joy is a habit, right? You have to be intentional in, focusing on the positive, doing that positive versus negative that I did. But like, okay, what are all the things I'm grateful for and thankful for? So gratitude is one of the best reflection or the best ways that you can be like, oh snap, I have all this stuff going on for me. Yes, my life is not perfect, but it's quite close to being perfect, right? You have to shift your story, and that's what telling your story. Is my story going to be this one or two things I'm worried about? Or is my story going to be the amazing things I have, like my wonderful family, my daughter, my siblings, even the relationship I have with my dad now? Is that going to be what I focus my attention on, right? You also want to connect with the feelings of other people around you. Try to find people that, maybe they're less fortunate or have it worse than you, to put things in perspective for you and help them. This is why I love the job I do. Like, even in spite of my ADHD, I'm able to thrive and survive and, do all the things I do. I'm also able to teach other women how to thrive regardless of whatever is going on with them. All right? So at the end of the day, I honestly feel like when you choose the thought you allow in your heart, that's when you change your life. You say, I'm so dumb. I can't believe I got taken advantage of and all the stuff. It's not positive. You could say, now I know, and here's what I need to do to be in a better situation next time. If there is a next time, right? So, don't wallow in whatever. I think it's good to mourn whatever the situation is, but then quickly get into the action step. When you change your story, you also change your life. The first step in changing your story is to stop telling yourself horrible stuff about yourself. Like I said earlier, you're not dumb. You're not lazy. You just need to find strategies that work for you. So if you want to learn about what I do and strategies I have, you can click in my link on the bio to look at this. You can also go ahead and send me a message, or I'll put the link of Accomplish with Ease for the next cycle that is going to be starting soon. You could go ahead and register for that. So I just want to thank you for listening to me. Like I said, this is uber short, right? Less than 30 minutes, but I felt like it was a PSA that needed to be had. And I hope this touched your heart. If there's anything I ask you to do, I ask you to go check on your friends. For my friends that are listening to this, I am fine now. This is not the time to check on me. I'm good. I don't want 1,000 text messages or calls. But if you have other friends that are going through stuff, or even if they're not going through stuff, I think you need to check on them. And you checking on them is when you find out they were going through stuff. Okay? So, again, I just want to thank you for an amazing, wonderful episode of LollieTasking. I'll put the information of how to get a hold of me in the show notes. I'll also put the information on my next cycle in the show notes so you can go and sign up for it. I cannot promise that my price will not go up after this cycle. So I really recommend, if you want to join the Accomplish with Ease and learn how to strategize and focus on what matters and block out all the kryptonites of your life, if you really want to learn how to do that, now is the time to do it at the current price that we have it. We also have a payment plan that can help you if that's the issue, okay? So that's it. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I hope you have a productive day. I hope you have an intentional day. Thank you, and have a great day. Hello, Lollietaskers. Thanks for hanging out with me on another inspiring episode of Bossing, Mommy, and LollieTasking. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. What was your favorite part? Or what was your aha moment? I would love to hear all about it. If you also have any questions or topics you'd like for me to discuss, please feel free to contact me via www.LollieTasking.com. I have a question for you though. Have you subscribed already? If not, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and click that subscribe button, share this episode with a friend, and leave a great review on iTunes. These things allow other moms to see the show and connect with us as well. Till next time, this is LollieTasking.